I mean, what do you see as the role of public art or street art in social and political discourse, and do you think that it can affect societal change? Obviously, you think it can.
Yeah, well, I think that art is generally undervalued because art is in so many different things that we all enjoy and take for granted. It's in video games, it's in movies, it's in fashion. It's everywhere, and one of the few things we still export as a nation is culture, and all culture is driven by creativity. So I think that art has a lot of value, but especially when you look at what people encounter in their daily travels, it's not things that are a choice to consume, but things that you encounter regardless of what your choices are. That should not just be a sign for a business or an ad for a business or Drive 55. That there should be more. There should be more than that. And Charleston's a place where the Board of Architectural Review will not allow you to build a bay window on your 1823 house like my parents experienced and complained about a lot when I was younger. And yet usually there's the idea of newer art, the things that will be valued by the next generation, not just because they're already 150, 200 years old, don't seem to be valued. And there's value in so many different ways. There's values in the aesthetics, there's value in the communication. But I look at street art mostly as, regardless of whether the cultural gatekeepers or the powers that be see the value in it, I see a value in it. And so having the courage to go out there and put up images I believe in, I think it does affect people. And even if it means I'll face potential arrest or that the work will be quickly removed, it's worth it to me because of the democracy of using public space in that way. And people frequently ask me, well, now that the internet is such a great platform, why don't you just use that? You can reach more people without worrying about getting arrested, without having to pay for materials, without the inconvenience of putting something up and having someone paint over it in short order. But I think that the great thing about street art is that some aspect of the medium and the application, the act of defiance, that it's a tangible physical object, that there's a visceral nature to the application and the encounter, that transfers to the viewer and has much more impact. Even if it's a photograph of a piece of street art put on the internet, there's still a sense that a human being had to do a little bit of work, maybe take a little bit of risk to do that. And ultimately, I think that idea of triumphing over your own sort of existential limitations is something that is meaningful to people. So I see a lot of value in that still, and that's why, even though I could sell posters through my website, sell paintings in galleries, sell T-shirts through boutiques, I still think it's very important to do street art because a lot of my work, the commerce, really is just about helping to support what I want to do in the dissemination. So, I've built a lot of businesses around making sure that I can say things the way I want to say them with my art in the places I want to say them. But it's, so where some artists, I think, use street art as a way to get recognition for themselves and then transition out of street art once other opportunities arise. For me, the other opportunities just reinforce my ability to do street art.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. Well, I overheard some people talking about your mural on College Lodge. I was across the street taking a picture, and some people were walking by, and the two people who didn't know each other, and we were standing there, and one of them looked up and said, "I like it, but is it art?" And the other one said, I don't know, I'm not from around here. So,
it's amazing.
but you see, by having art in the public space, it creates those occasions where people are looking at something. It's a shared space. It's a democratic space.
Yeah.
And so, and you were talking about, you know, to your critics or people who were saying, why don't you just do it on the internet? Well, someone has to get on whatever website it is that information is on, and they have to make the effort to do that. Whereas if they're walking to get to work and they happen to encounter one of your pieces on the sidewalk that they can't really avoid, I mean, they're going to encounter it in their day, then it has a different meaning, and it's part of the visual environment.
Right.
And I do think that has a different impact than seeing something on the web. Yeah.
And the great thing about, you know, the question, is it art, is that person actually felt comfortable enough to ask that. If they were in a gallery, they would assume that it wouldn't be in the gallery unless it were art, and that they would sound like an idiot to ask the question. Mm-hmm. They'd be intimidated. And as much as I sometimes don't like what the person that experiences my work in public feels confident in, you know, saying about it, because they don't feel like they need to be an expert. Everyone's a critic, and I think that it's a much more inclusive conversation when it's in public, and a much more honest conversation. You know, there's value to that. I think that you know, the number of opinions out there is vast, but when things are being discussed, I think, you know, that's always healthy.